and we're going to be talking strictly business tonight. We have, I've given him a new title, the entrepreneur developer, the man that make it his business to develop entrepreneurs. Mr. Meade Malone is here with me tonight, and he brought with him the first and second place winners of BizPitch 2016, last year's BizPitch winners, Akeem Leonard and Chad Letzum. We're going to be talking about their businesses. We're going to be talking about BizPitch 2017 and a whole host of other business-related issues. So keep it locked right here to Spotlight. Call a family member or a friend and have them tune into JTV channel 55. But of course, Peter Gay's got the top stories making the news this week. Peter Gay.
Hi, Edwin Enko. Today, our top news comes from the most recent session of the House of Assembly. Remember those questions that we spoke about that the opposition leader was supposed to pose to the Premier? They finally came last week, Thursday it was. Now, regarding the question of how much money Cabinet has approved to be spent on the proposed expansion of the TB Letzum International Airport, the Premier reported that $6.2 million has been spent so far on the development plans for that project, and that pertains to consultants and legal fees. And of course, he says the spending so far conforms to the protocols for effective financial management. Here he is.
Well, Speaker, no sums have been approved for the proposed physical expansion of the TB Letzum Airport at this particular time. However, approvals were granted at various stages to engage specialist consultants and legal representatives to assist with the preparatory work associated with the project. And Speaker, as of 13 April 2017, $6,228,358.14 have been spent on consultants and legal fees and other costs in relation to the TB Letzum Airport expansion. The details of the answer, Mr. Speaker. The amounts approved by Cabinet in relation to the TB Letzum Airport expansion project are as follows. Name of firm from Indigo Engineering Caribbean Group Limited, Project Management Services, total of $360,000. Geotech Associates Limited, Geotechnical Services, $544,970. Port and Marine Limited, Support Services for Geotechnical Investigations, $458,796.32. WSP Canada Incorporated, Revenue Forecast, Procurement and Technical Performance, $148,597.73. PricewaterhouseCoopers, Business and Financial Advice, $1,023,380.85. Baker McKenzie, Legal Advice and Legal Services, $2,605,447.79. In addition, Madam Speaker, other services for project coordination, consultancy, dive services, and engineering designs were engaged from various entities, the total of which is $1,087,165.45. Individually, these fell below the threshold required for Cabinet approval.
And so, Enko,
Speaker, the disbursement of funds to BVI
provided an update on how those monies, that $6.2 million, has been spent so far. The opposition leader sought further clarification on whether or not there was a tendering process for these monies that were spent, but the Premier said that the persons/companies who were selected, that was done based on their demonstrated competences and knowledge in the respective areas for which they were hired. Now, regarding negotiations with contractors for the proposed expansion, so far the Premier says there have been some technical discussions but no formal negotiations so far. Edgerenko.
They would update us on what's happening. The problem still remains whether we are going to, or who we're going to give the airport contract to. think that's still the main issue. The issue of the discrepancy in the bids, where you have one bidder, so much lower than the other, and some of the bidders are saying that they were two different bids. They weren't bidding on the same thing. As a matter of fact, one contractor said they were bidding on apples and oranges. And so I think that needs to be straightened out. Whether we need an airport or not, that's another issue that needs to be dealt with. So I think before we forge ahead with the airport project, there's still some issues that need to be resolved. Did we hear anything about any of those issues coming to the fore in the House, or did the Premier say anything about whether there was a question, or there was any longer question of whether we are going forward, or anything that tell us that we are definitely going forward, or we waiting, or anything like that?
No, Edward Nkor. His responses were limited to these specific questions that were asked, and so in terms of extra information, that was not to be had. But I think the entire territory is waiting to see if that pledge of having more public consultations or discussions going forward is definitely going to happen, and sometime soon, especially since the wrapping up of the negotiations with the preferred bidder, that should have been done based on what the Premier said in December, by March, the end of March, but that hasn't been done. So, as we go along, there are more questions that need to be answered as it pertains to what has been happening behind the scenes regarding this proposed development.
Well, hopefully more consultations are in our future.
All right, so Edward Nkor, the other issue on our table this evening in the top news segment is that of BVI Airways. So the opposition leader also had questions for the Premier regarding BVI Airways, which everyone knows is expected to be the territory's flagship carrier, particularly for that crucial Miami to Tortola route. The opposition leader wanted to know what has happened to the $7 million investment that the Premier committed to BVI Airways. The Premier revealed that between January and August of last year, that $7 million, in addition to $207,000 for the opening of a bank account, was disseminated to BVI Airways. And here are the details of that statement.
Madam Speaker, the disbursement of funds to BVI Airways were made as follows. 22nd of January 2016, $500,000. Company paid to BVI Airways Limited. The payments all made to BVI Airways Limited. On the 11th of March 2016, $2,400,000. On the 5th of May 2016, $2,100,000. On 15th July 2016, $2,007,000, and 26th of August 2016, $200,000. A total of $7,207,000. The additional $207,000 is in relation to costs associated with the establishment of the required escrow account. Madam Speaker, the establishment of BVI Airways was based on a sound business case which involved assessment of cost of operations, expected tourist arrivals, and other relevant factors. The tenant of the BVI government's agreement with BVI Airways provided for that of a subsidy. This is very much like the subsidies that countries throughout the Caribbean give to airlines in order for them to get them to fly into their various destinations. My government went a step further in that this subsidy had been tied to certain milestones before actual commencement of service. Since BVI Airways was essentially restarting its operations and doing so with different and more complex aircraft and a new route. We continue to expect that it will be self-sufficient once it is able to go through a complete year of operations. And as previously stated, it is expected, according to agreement, that BVI government will cover the injection of cash within the term outlined in the agreement.
All right. Now, the other question the opposition leader sought answers from the Premier on was whether there had been any addendum to the initial agreement signed with BVI Airways in 2015. The Premier said yes, there was an addendum, but as it pertains to what exactly are the details of that addendum, he refused to disclose those details, citing that it could prejudice BVI Airways in its ongoing negotiations, and that addendum became necessary because the airline was having challenges with a line of credit, and what the addendum did do was provide for the transfer of funds and sharing of costs associated with the creation of an escrow account. Here's more from that statement.
Because BVI Airways are in negotiations with various entities at this time, it should be appreciated that it would be prejudicial to the operation to make this information public. However, this agreement and addendum reflects our obligations in respect to risk management and the protocols of effective financial management as indicated previously.
There you have it, Edru Enka. That's as much as the Premier would let go as it pertains to BVI Airways in the House.
Yeah, I never could understand what that means, that you can't release information because it will be prejudicial to negotiations. I never quite get that. But the question, I don't know why those questions about funding and so on, because we know we gave the airline the $7 million or $7.2 million, whatever it is. The question is when we're going to be able to hop on the plane and go to Miami and back, and how much is going to cost. That's what that's what the question needs to be. And I was hoping that that question would have been asked. But
that question was asked,
okay.
But the response from the Premier to that was essentially to repeat what BVI Airways officials have said, that the airline expects to be up and running once it gets its certification from the U.S. by June of this year. But as it pertains to the Premier and the government making any further definitive statements, the Premier is hands off on that. He says BVI Airways has said June. It's out of my hands as it pertains to that. Let's see what happens.
So June is the date that we're looking forward to.
That's what BVI Airways has said.
Okay, well,
At least up until this point.
There's only a few short weeks away, so that's good. I'm looking forward for that to happen and for us to be able to go directly to Miami and back. I think it's something that could have been done long ago, but that's just my
critical to so many aspects of the territory.
It's critical to our tourism industry, and it should have happened a while back, but better late than never. So we're hoping to see that happen pretty soon.
Allow me to add one point to the question you were asking about monies. I'm not sure, well, we are all not sure what exactly it is that Mr. Foy knows. Why is it that he's asking these specific questions? So it will be interesting to find out what happens going forward in terms of him pressing the Premier and the government to release more information about what's happening behind the scenes regarding BVI Airways. Now, he did ask the Premier the specific question of whether or not any funding, equity, or investment of any kind additionally is or will be provided to BVI Airways. Now, the Premier stated that, at the end of the day, stated that BVI Airways has not requested any additional funding. However, regarding that specific question, the Premier's response was that it would be prejudicial to discuss these arrangements at this time. So it leaves you wondering what exactly is happening if you're going to say at one end that BVI Airways is not requesting any additional funding, but then to a specific question about whether or not amounts are being requested in any state or form, you're going to say you can't talk about it at this point. So what exactly is going on that we're still not getting the deets on? That's the question.
It makes you feel like something is happening, that there will be further investment, right? Well, we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for those updates and that report, Peter Gay. Good stuff as usual.
You're welcome. Let me just remind our viewers, of course, to check us out. That's the JTV Newsroom and its stories on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, jtvlive.net.
Yes, we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're coming back with our good brother, entrepreneur, developer, my new title for him, Mead Malone, along with Chad Letsum and Akeem Leonard, right after these words from our sponsors. Don't go away.
Spotlight is brought to you by CCT BVI, Life Unlimited, and the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official Bank of Paradise.
Facebook, Instagram, you name it, I have it.
I use it for my internet, Skype, WhatsApp, YouTube, everything.
I can upload photos, share files, have meetings.
The data is ridiculously fast. And when they switch to this LTE, wow, the speed is incredible.
Unlimited, unlimited, unlimited.
I don't have to go, how much data do I have? It's there. The other networks, I could WhatsApp on this one.
I absolutely love it. You have to get it, BVI.
Thank you, CCP.
Welcome to the New Clarence Summers Limited Home Center in Fish Bay. You can expect so much great things out of this new facilities. Our new paint department featuring Valspar paints, our brand new drive-through lumberyard, new plumbing department, our new lawn and garden department, featuring plants by Groundworks BVI. That's one of the many collaborations that we've actually done as a company, trying to basically do as much as possible with more of the local companies as we possibly can, and basically put everything under one roof. Remember, CTL is your new destination store. That's absolutely fabulous. Lots of parking, comfortable location, very clean environment. You know, you come in and you feel at home, and the service level is something that we are definitely working on continuously to bring that experience to you from the moment you get out your car to the moment you leave the registers heading back to your car. And we just love being able to serve the people of the territory. We love being here for nearly 50 years doing this, and we look forward to being here for an additional 50 or more years serving the people of the British Virgin Islands. I'm standing in front of our new Valspar paint department, and you notice it's strategically positioned in the store, so it's pretty much one of the first departments that you run into as you enter into CTL. I mean, here we have the ability to mix over 1,200 colors to satisfy any homeowner's taste at all possible. Valspar is one of the largest paint companies in the world, and we were fortunate enough when they picked us to be the distributors in the British Virgin Islands. We have a great staff, Erasmus, who actually runs our paint department. Really knows what he's doing, extremely helpful. And you know, our job in this department is to really satisfy all your color needs, all your repairs as it's relative to basically, you know, updating your home, whether it's renovation or whether it's a new home. And we're really excited about this department. Get online, see us. We're constantly uploading all our new products and specials and everything online. So please do visit us online.
Facebook, Instagram, you name it, I have it.
I use it for my internet, Skype, WhatsApp, YouTube, everything.
I can upload photos, share files, have meetings.
The data is ridiculously fast. And when they switch to this LTE, wow, the speed is incredible.
Unlimited, unlimited, unlimited.
I don't have to go, how much data do I have? It's there. The other networks, I could WhatsApp on this one.
I absolutely love it. You have to get it, BVI.
Thank you, CCP.
Here in
the Virgin Islands, we are blessed to live and work in paradise. Paradise just doesn't mean on tranquil blue waters and green hills. National Bank of the Virgin Islands defines paradise as any place or condition that fulfills your aspirations. To me, paradise means knowing that I will have a financing partner when I'm ready to open my first business. I feel confident that I can manage whatever life throws my way because I know my bank will be with me every step of the way. That's why I choose National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official bank of paradise.
My future's looking so bright, 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 with the official bank of paradise, paradise.
National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official bank of paradise.
Welcome back. The fun start. But I want to, of course, welcome my good brother, Mead. Good to see you as usual.
Great to be here.
And I gave you a new title. I know that you're shying away from, but you will accept. as a brother in the community who is really going all out to make sure that our young brothers and sisters become entrepreneurs.
Yes.
That business is the way to go.
Yes.
Particularly small businesses, we know, is the hub of the economy.
Yes.
And so more businesses we have, more employment,
yes,
more money circulating,
yes,
more.
Yes.
You know, but they call it the multiplier effect.
The multiplier effect.
Yeah. So, you know, you have to acknowledge that, you know, you're doing a tremendous job and a tremendous service to the community, whether, you know, you want to or not.
Thank you.
That's great. That's gracious. That's gracious. Yeah. So welcome.
Thank
and
you.
of course, my good brother from Red Bay. I don't know how many people know where Red Bay is, but from Red Bay, he's standing there by the wharf. Chad Letson. We are everybody there in the area right there. We're very proud of Chad.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Yes, good to see you. And my good brother Akeem Leonard from BG.
Yep.
Yes, turning concrete into glass.
Using glass to help make concrete into something new, yeah.
Oh, okay. I know I have it back. I wasn't worried about
He knows brand, you see.
Yeah. Make sure you get everything in there.
Yes,
in
yes.
Right. So, you know, guys, welcome to Spotlight. Now, Chiching.
Yes, or Ching Caribbean.
Ching Caribbean and
Green Crete.
And Green Crete. So it's GC was
Green Crete BVI.
Green Crete BVI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So I will start with them.
Yes, absolutely.
So how things going?
Things are going good for me, publicity-wise.
Publicity-wise.
And also increasing transactions and increasing the amount of people who are solving in the BVI, helping them accept plastic CAD payments. And things are going good. It's on the up and up for us here at Ching.
So that's really working out.
It's working out.
People get more and more subscribers.
Yep.
How does that work?
We're moving real money, which is good. It works by businesses. They sign up for an app in collaboration with the bank, and they now can accept credit card on their mobile device and have that money deposited directly into their bank account in the next business day. So it helps them capture payments from tourists, from residents, from anyone who wants to spend and consume with a plastic credit card.
So the business, this is for business.
Correct.
So a business come to you and they buy the app, they pay for the app.
The app is free. They download it for free.
So they give you a percentage.
And yes, we take a very small percentage of the transaction.
Okay. And whoever comes in could, and this is without, could do transaction, credit card transactions.
Yes.
And this is without all the cumbersome
sign up.
mechanisms.
Yeah, we're trying to eliminate the painful sign-up processes that you currently need to go to the bank. Right now, you have to engage with a single bank, go through a long, tedious, painful application process. and wait weeks, if not months, before you can start accepting your first plastic permits. We're trying to eliminate all of that, so the local fishermen can use this selling the fish out the back of the truck. The Rastaman picking coconut could use this to sell to tourists.
This is serious.
So it's something that businesses in the BVI and the wider Caribbean, they need this to be able to accept form of payment from European travelers who don't have US dollars, from tourists that travel here with only plastic and don't even have a cash machine where they can get cash. If you're in Anegada, if you're in Virgin Garden or Adsong, if you're in Cooper Island or Jocelyn, like, you don't have access to a cash machine. You have to come back to Atola. So
and you want an extra bottle of wine, you can't buy it.
You can't buy it. So this is helping businesses sell their goods or their services when their customers don't even have cash on hand.
No, like we used to have to spend a whole lot of money on tiles.
Yeah.
You don't cut that out altogether.
Well, Greencrete has been going good, and the concept of making recycled glass and concrete products here in the BVI is really catching on. I know it will take a while for persons to really get into it, but they have started to. Yeah.
But I've seen some of your work, and it's more than just having the glass glistening in the concrete. Because you make real colorful. It's like look like tiles itself, right?
Yes. You can get it looking like tiles, or if you want an entire floor done, it's all up to you. You don't have the look of tiles. If you want like one plain floor, you can get it done like that too. And it's just like different techniques that I use to give like different looks. Yeah.
So you could just have, if you have a business that you a huge space, you wanted to open a space like Clarence Thomas, for example, you could have that whole floor done with Greencrete.
Yes, with the glass. And like I recently did a small one over on Anegada for BVI Tourist Board at the Fishman Wharf. I did a floor for them, and it's like the recycled glass and the sliced conch shells. Yeah, but you can have it any size you want it.
And you can make it shiny.
Yes.
Just like
and slip resistant. Yeah.
So how is that going? You making any money?
Yeah, it's going great. Yeah. I would say, as I always tell everyone, the business took off faster than I really expected it to. But as I said, the concept is really catching on. Like more persons are grasping to it and seeing the customability and knowing that you can get what you want when you want, and it's made to your what you ask for.
Okay. So how you guys how you reaching your market? What's your method of reaching your market?
Well, so for my product that lives on the mobile device, Facebook, Instagram, those mobile marketing, social media aspects work very well for our product, because that's where the product needs to live. It needs to live on the mobile device. You can get all the marketing on the mobile device. Obviously, coming on shows like yours and the radio shows, word of mouth travels extremely well in these small little islands. You say something on West End before you reach East End, and news don't reach there before you reach there.
Yeah, tell me about it. Our parents, we used to get links faster than the phone could get a message back to East End from West, from Scoresby. I had to say Scoresby for special reason.
As Chad said, social media, that's the biggest way that I use, and another biggest thing is word of mouth. So if you do a job for someone and they like it, they tell their friends, and the friends tell the friends. So
that's cool. Well, y'all don't forget me with the marketing, because you can't come on the show if you don't exist.
Exactly.
And it can't exist if you don't have the cameras overhead, all that stuff. This stuff costs money.
Sum it up in one word: sponsorship. Advertising.
Don't just go to social media, and you wouldn't have any real media.
That's true.
There's some great publication sites. BVI Business is extremely good publication to get in. BVI News Online, all these things. The Beacon, they all do great jobs providing articles about us young entrepreneurs, and that's definitely one of the main marketing
and TV
as well.
TV channels like JTV, they provide markets and spaces for persons to actually get out there and get exposed, like from coverage of the trade shows to shows like what you're having here tonight. Well,
don't forget too that you need the media a democratic perspective, to keep you informed politically, socially, economically. So, you see, I mean, we're going to get to the social responsibility of business and the stewardship that you guys gonna that developer me gonna have to start inculcating in his program. But I'm gonna get to him right now. But we're gonna talk some more. But my brother, full speed ahead. I remember when there was a twinkle in your eye.
Yes.
You know, and here you are. This is your second year.
Yes, it's gone into a broad smile. We started out last year really trying to develop a platform to showcase BVI entrepreneurial spirit, which is alive and well in the British Virgin Islands. And we set out an expo and 40 entrepreneurs came out. We were incredibly surprised and very, very pleased because they did an excellent job.
It was fantastic.
It was really, really, really great. And these two young men here are products of that. And I clearly don't claim them for myself because there's a lot of activities around entrepreneurship going on in the BVI. We're just one of them. And out of that competition, Akeem was the first prize winner. And he got to go up to Fort Collins in Colorado and had a great time. He can tell you about that experience because he was there and I wasn't there. And Chad came second after a great performance. And as you hear him talk, we're seeing some of the benefits of that exposure in his business. What I love about them and the other participants is their level of confidence, the level of ease, the level of really clarity in what they want to achieve in the world. It's really fantastic.
Yes, it is. And BVI Biz Pitch is coming up next couple of weeks.
It's coming up on May 6th, and we're inviting the public to come out and support the entrepreneurs. They're signing up fast. And for those who have not yet signed up, I want to encourage them to sign up. They're going to be at UP Cineplex. The public is being asked to come from about 11 a.m. And visit the booths and show support. And in the afternoon, we have a great lineup of speakers for the public to partake.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break.
Yes.
And when we come back, we're going to get into the structure things. We're going to talk about your experience in Colorado and some of the experiences you've had with the business persons, the mentors that have given you some of the confidence and the experience to do what you're doing, so that we could share that with our listening audience, our viewing audience, and young persons there who might want to become entrepreneurs. So keep it locked right here in the Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited and CTL Home Center, the best products for the lowest prices, period.
Serving the community for over 25 years, Tortola Concrete Limited is the leading producer of concrete products in the BVI. With grades of 3,000 to 5,000 PSI, Tortola Concrete ready-mix quality unmatched in the industry, and we can mix to your specifications. Our aggregates are clean through our unique washing process for our smooth, clean mix, and our special chilling process makes our concrete crack resistant. Tortola Concrete Limited is the concrete company for all your quality concrete products. Gravel, road base, face stone, boulders, armor rock, coarse sand, terrace, and the cleanest, strongest, crack-resistant, ready-mix concrete. Tortola Concrete batch plants serve you Monday to Saturday, 7 a.m. until the last load. Our knowledgeable, effective staff gives you free estimate and delivers on time to any location. Contact Tortola Concrete at 494-3259, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Conveniently located in Parkwood Pond near the BVI electricity plant. At Tortola Concrete Limited, the strength is in the mix.
The newly renovated Village Key Deli hosts a new spacious air-conditioned seating area with free Wi-Fi to help you fully enjoy the tasty expanded menu. From fresh salads, sandwiches, and wraps, if you're counting the calories but still want something tasty with fresh, healthy ingredients, pick one of the many wraps and salads at Village Key Deli or even create your own. Village Key Deli also provides catering services for any function, conveniently located in the heart of Roadtown. Make a fresh, healthy choice and stop by Village Key Deli. Enjoy the new seating area or call in your order at 494-2771 extension 4. Open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Village Key Deli.
When it comes to your health, being uninsured is never an option. Listen to some sound advice. Nagico's Nagicare is one of the best medical insurance plans your money can buy. We offer you solutions to medical coverage benefits tailor-made to your budget and preferences, so that the next time you visit the doctor, you can rest assured that we've got you covered. Visit our website, nagico.com, or contact a Nagico office or agent near you. Nagico Insurances. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Brother Meade Malone, our young entrepreneurs, Chad Letzum and Akeem Leonard. And we are talking about BizPitch, BVI BizPitch 2017 that's coming up May 6th. Going to be held at the UP's Cineplex. And it's going to be an awesome experience. Who's coming?
Well, for the BizPitch, we have 3 guest speakers. One guest speaker is Kyle Kirkpatrick. He is the CEO of a company called Decibels. What's interesting about Kyle is that he was formerly in Kurt Richardson's BizPitch, Biz Expo in Colorado, and he was the winner. And he's coming really to share his experience because he was a young entrepreneur and he's now turned that into a successful business as a result of his experience with the competition, Blue Ocean competition there. And he was able to raise over $3 million in crowdfunding. So I wanted to come and share that experience with young entrepreneurs because, funding is a major issue for entrepreneurs in the BVI. And one of the funding opportunities that could be available to young entrepreneurs is crowdfunding. It's that stage in between when you're putting your own money in, putting your own resources in, putting your family money in, and before you get bank funding. And one of the funding alternatives could be crowdfunding. And so he's going to come and share that experience.
And what does that mean?
Crowdfunding really is when entrepreneurs basically develop a pitch. They tell about their business. Sometimes they offer a reward of some kind or offer some service or a product, and they basically go to the public, and the public basically invest or give towards the development of their business. What's great about it is that you don't need any collateral. 99% of the time you're not offering any shares. Really, you're getting the community involved in and who are interested in seeing you progress. And I think what's great about that is that if these companies are successful, everybody is successful. The economy is successful, employment, clearly opportunities come up for everybody, and the money circulates in the economy, the more successful these entrepreneurial businesses are. So he's gonna come. We have another gentleman, McCabe, who is coming. He actually establishes and manages crowdfunding platforms. And he's going to be great great because he's seen a number of entrepreneurs who've developed these crowdfunding campaigns, and he can share what has been successful and what has not been successful, and really talk about what makes for a successful crowdfunding campaign. So he's going to come and make a presentation. We also have Miss Karen Hines, and she is more a motivational and inspirational speaker, and she's going to really talk to the whole issue of the value of collaboration. Because Cromwell, we in the BVI always think any partnership is a leaky ship.
Right.
But really, you grow exponentially by collaboration, by sharing ideas, by joining.
We also think we're competing with each other.
Exactly.
And instead of cooperating, we think we're competing.
Exactly.
And that really sets us back.
It sets us back tremendously. Yes. So she's going to talk about the whole benefit of collaboration, which is really where we need to take the entrepreneurial community in the BVI, collaborating with each other, sharing their ideas, sharing their expertise, sharing their skills, so that they can sharing their infrastructure. Which
That's
is
one of the things that we really don't.
Exactly. Why does every entrepreneur need a secretary? Every entrepreneur needs a conference room. Every entrepreneur needs a copy machine. Come on, let's collaborate, share that space.
Why we all we have our own separate containers
and offices and all those kinds of things. It's a way of sharing and growing, so that you get the exponential effect. Sooner, quicker, faster.
You could be more competitive with the international community.
Absolutely. I mean, we only 35,000 people. Why, let's take on the world rather than trying to conquer only the 35,000 people. There's clearly value here, but let's open up our thinking so that we can take on the world. And that's what we're trying to do with the whole Biz Pitch and Biz Expo, to give entrepreneurs that sense of empowerment to go take on the world. And these two young men here are good examples of that.
Absolutely. Now, the last Biz Pitch 2016, I was pleasantly surprised with how nicely it was done, And I guess, I don't know what I expected, and I didn't have much expectations, but when I walked into the Cineplex, it was like, wow, you had a wow factor. And you had, it was almost like a little BVI expo. Mm-hmm. Are you're looking at that expo concept again this year? How many businesses you're gonna?
Absolutely, we're catering for 40, and we're more than halfway there so far. And so tonight is really a call out to the businesses to participate. And it's going to be the same setup as we did last year. And it's going to really be focused on what entrepreneurs need to move to the next level within our ecosystem. And that is about funding. It's about collaboration. It's about co-working together.
Well, for that crowdfunding,
yes,
that is an interesting concept, and I think that everyone needs to come out, if just for that one thing.
Yes,
because as we know, and as you mentioned, and you are experienced in this area, venture capital is really hard to come by,
yes,
or virtually non-existent in the BVI.
Yes,
and you need startup money.
Yes,
I mean, it's very difficult to have a business without startup money.
Yes, well, in most entrepreneurial ecosystem, there's really a path to follow, right? So you put your own money in, and you do your own effort through your savings, through your family. You got to have some skin in the game.
Right.
And really, entrepreneurs need to understand. You need to have skin in the game, and you need to have sweat in the game. Mm-hmm. And anybody who is going to fund you is going to look for that. And skin and sweat and momentum forward is critically important. And after you basically begin to get that, and the public can see some measure of success, usually in developed ecosystems, crowdfunding comes next. Okay. Is one of the next steps. You basically have a platform, you can go to the public, and the public support you for what you're doing. The next step is something called angel investing. And so these are people who put money into companies. Sometimes they may take a stake in that company, but it's usually not for the life of the company. It's usually for a defined period of time. And they want a fixed rate of return, a set rate of return. And it's usually for 3 to 5 years. Once you reach that stage and you can get to bank financing, what you do is you go to bank financing and you basically take out the angel investor. He is there to help you get to the stage of bank financing. Then usually after you've gone to bank financing and you can really get your company going, then is when the venture capital people would come in, because you're more mature, you're more stable. You yourself have a good indication of where you're going.
And you have more to lose.
You have more to lose, but they normally take a bigger stake of your company, 20 or 30 or 40% of your company. And so, you know, you really need to be ready as an entrepreneur to take that on board if you're going to be successful.
And I'm really glad you said that, because we really have to learn those levels of financing.
Yes.
You know, coming up that financial financing ladder in order to become successful, or to really get the business going.
Yes.
And I think those topics are going to be really, really important for persons to come out to the Biz Pitch 2017 this
Definitely.
year. I mean, you really hitting on to something that's really important, I think, for this year. How do we sign up? How can a business get involved as part of the expo? And how can you get in? How can you sign up to be a part of the?
If people are interested, they can call our offices 494-4388. Ask for Don Crab Herbert or myself, Meade Malone, or Don Gibson. They can email me at nwmabacus.com, or they can go to forgebvi.com. And they'll find the applications online there also.
Okay, so they could find you at Abacus.
Absolutely, upstairs of CCT.
Right, because I like to make it simple.
Yes. Find me at Abacus.
You don't remember all of that.
Yes,
right?
find me upstairs CCT. Very easy.
Yeah, that's what you remember, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be another exciting and excellent production this year as well.
Yes.
And you got the same rewards.
Yes, we have rewards in terms of this round of the competition. We have cash prizes, $1,000 for the one who wins this round of the Biz Pitch, $500 for the second place, $250. Plus we have other prizes that we give the winners. Last year we had prizes, for instance. Winners could display their products at Right Way and at the Pier Park, and all of those prizes. So those prizes, some of them would still be in place, and some of them will be taken over to the final competition. So there's plenty to win, but the most important prize, Cromwell, is to come and let the public see what it is you do. And gather information to take your business to the next level. That's the most important thing. Everyone who shows up in my book is a winner.
And what do you have to do to be a winner? What persons watching us and want to come and participate in the program and compete, what do they have to be prepared to do? What makes them
eligible?
Well, not even eligible.
Yeah.
The winner.
Yes.
Presentation. What you got to look like when you show up at this event? Because I'm telling you, what I saw there wasn't no pian. like my good friend Mag at the pool, say, wasn't no pian event.
Yeah.
So tell us what we need to do when we decide to participate in this event.
Well, I think one of the things that we called out for is for people who are in their area of gift, and whatever that is for you. Bring it and put it on display. I mean, these two gentlemen here are examples of people who are in their gift and loving it, doing it, don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm just doing my thing. And it's amazing when people are in their gift, the result is what you saw last year. They produce the best of who they are, and the best of who they are is on display. So to be successful in my book, come and display the best of who you are. whatever that looks and feels like. Because if it is, we're going to feel it. The room is going to feel it. The judges are going to feel it. It's not only in terms of the physical presentation, but it's how you're able to express it, your energy, your enthusiasm. Is it an area of passion for you? And there are lots of people who do it, even from those who make jelly at home, to tom and stew, to whatever that looks like for you. Come and put it on display and let the public see it and let the judges judge it.
Cool. Now, I want to get back to the brothers. You went to Colorado, and what was your experience like as a second place winner? And how were you? What did you get from it? What was the benefit of being a second place winner?
Well, I obviously got $2,500 cash.
Right.
That is extremely useful in the business. But things I got out of it was I got personal advice on how to manage my work-life balance. I got business strategic advice. I got accounting advice. I got legal advice. I mean, these are things that are very valuable, whole high dollar values, and I got that advice. I would say in surplus. And
so you got extra.
I got extra, and I feel like children don't ask to be raised, right? And what me and team are doing here is they're taking it upon themselves. What they're going forward with the Forge is to help raise these businesses in this community, and nobody's asking them to do it. They're just doing it. Right? So it's amazing the results that come out of it, out of the camaraderie, learning other entrepreneurs who are shoulder to shoulder with you walking forward, who you didn't know about before, and you learn about what they're doing, and you found a friend along the way. So it's very important. You get a lot more out of it, just more than those tangible financial things that I mentioned. You get a lot more energy and enthusiasm, and you don't feel like confidence, right? You don't just feel comfortable in your space. You now feel dominant within your space, and that's extremely important. I like to give analogies, and I'll give you an analogy last time, but I'd like to give another analogy about this. If your business is a car, and you're going to race this car, me and team are there cleaning your windscreen to make sure that you can see your potholes.
The pit crew.
They're there checking your tires to make sure you got rubber on your tires, so when you hit the next bend at 100 miles an hour that you make it around that corner safely. They're giving you a heads up of when and where your next pit stop is, so you don't run out of fuel. And most importantly, they're either helping reinforce why or helping you realize why you're even racing at all. So it's a tremendous the benefit out of second place, out of anybody that shows up, what they get out of it just for showing up.
Well, I never heard a business has a cab that works. That works. You went to Colorado, actually.
Yes.
And of course you got the $5,000 cash. But I suspect like Chad, that was nothing compared to what happened in Colorado.
Yes, even when I was doing my presentation, right, I mentioned that although I'd be happy about the $5,000, I was more excited about the trip to Colorado. And when I received it, it was awesome. The hospitality and everything up there. And when I went, it was actually Fort Collins Startup Week. And it's a week that they have, like the city puts on a whole 150 events for entrepreneurs free. So I got to experience that along with the different business developments that I got through Blue Ocean and the Biz Pitch and everything. So I got to meet like CEOs of big companies like Otterbox that I can now message and say, well, hey, I need some advice on this. I got some financial advice. I got advice on crowdfunding. And one of the biggest things that I liked when I went up there is knowing that the Forge BVI is soon coming on board. I actually got to visit about 4 co-working spaces in Fort Collins. So I got to experience how they are and know what to expect when it launches down in the BVI.
Now we're going to talk about that in a moment. Now, so you come back feeling now that, are you clear that you can have a successful business, that you know these are the things I need to do, this one needs to happen, this is how to get it done. So has the trip taken away some of the uncertainty you had about business? Because that could be a daunting thing when you, oh man, I wonder if this is going to work. You know, and any little hitch in your confidence could set you back or could throw you off. So do you get that sense now that, yeah man, I know I'm going to make it because I know what to do. There ain't no problem at all. I got this.
Well, the trip, it cleared up a lot of different things for me. But I would say, like, from my whole experience when we started this pitch last year and the training with Mead and team, right, it has really helped me a lot. And not just the trip, but the whole walking with Mead and meeting the different persons and businesses and things, that was very, very beneficial for me.
Okay. We got to take a break, and we'll come right back right after these words from our sponsors. What was saying?
Spotlight is brought to you by Ocean Conversion BVI Limited and BVI Tourist Board. We are one BVI.
The nice thing about the National Bank is that they are actually true to their concept of being a national bank in terms of understanding the needs of all islands. They understood what we needed at New Horizon Ferry Services in expanding our offerings to improve shipping across our islands. Because we have been in this business now for many years and established a good relationship with the bank, they saw our track record and they understood what we needed to expand our business. And together, we have formed a great partnership that is helping our business to grow.
Paradise means being able to expand our business at the right time.
National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official Bank of Paradise.
Owning a home is one of life's greatest accomplishments, so don't take it lightly. Protect your investment with a Nagico homeowner's policy, the best insurance you can get. It covers free valuation of your property every 3 years, up to $2 million in liability coverage, travel insurance, medical, and we continue to pay your premiums if you become permanently disabled. To learn more, call us at 494-6433 or visit us at Century Insurance, Virgin Gorda or Roadtown. Nagico Insurances, fast, fair, and always there.
Now with Yellow, you can search from over 25,000 local businesses to find whatever it is you're looking for. Say you need to find a dentist to fix that molar. Simply search on your computer and findyellow.com will find a dentist close by with business times, star ratings, payment options, and peer reviews. So you know what you're getting yourself into. It's that easy. Searching on findyellow.com is just like asking a local. Because if it's on the island, it's on findyellow.com. Yellow, we know local.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm excited about my guest, my good brother me. I always got space for you, know that.
I know that.
Yeah, you got money in the bank.
I know that.
And Spotlight.
I know that.
And of course, the good brothers here that's really articulate and seem to got a handle on everything.
Proud of them.
Yeah, proud of them. But I left off, and I'm not sure whether I got the answer or not from Hakeem about your level of confidence and your level of knowing where you're going and how you're gonna get there. You've been shield clear, you got a nice white tires, and you got all of the bells and whistles under the hood. You got the horsepower.
Yes.
If you feel you're gonna win the race.
Yes, everything is clear, crystal clear.
And that must be a good feeling.
Yes.
That must be a good feeling. What success will look like to you? When will you say to yourself, I have a successful business? I feel, I look at a business as a child. you bought a child and you gotta nurture it, you feed it, change the diaper, and then it creeps, and then it's that walk, standing up, and then it's that walking, and then it's that running, then you become an adult, and then you don't have to worry about it again. When will your business be successful in your view?
Like you just said, a child.
I give you the answer.
In that way, in what you just give the analogy there, when the business becomes like it's working for me instead of I'm working for the business. Yeah.
I got a perspective on that. Just like your analogy with a child, there's a lot of time that it takes to progress through those stages, right? Same thing with business. Obviously, the first mark you want to hit is profitability, right? And you're in the startup phase and going through getting prepared to get angel investment and stuff, you're really not profitable. You're still operating in red, not in the black. And hitting that first stage is something that's good to come along to start actually making money, getting your customer count up, and then getting some retained earnings in the business that can benefit you, the owner. After that, you start to need to really focus on benefiting the community, right? Obviously, your business is doing that by helping people, but taking up more social responsibility and benefiting the place, the region, the island you call home even more to make. Once you don't got your house and everything, you want to make everything else outside in the community look pretty as well, right? And be a nice, safe environment. So you got to start focusing on that. And then, keep progressing up to being more impactful across the region, across the world, how you can help, what's your force for good on this earth, right? You're looking at your purpose in life and where you need to go. And this is all part of the business phase because you need funding, you need cash, you need capital to make those big, huge, impactful changes in the world. So to me, when you get up to those phases, you're very successful. The immediate thing is having the business work for you, not you work for the business in the interim, in the beginning, but long-term wise, looking at being more of a benefactor to the community, to the region, and to the world.
Okay, I see. You got a well trained there, bro.
Absolutely.
Now, I noticed. I was doing a little. Take a look at Forge.
Yes.
You tell us what that means. I interpret it to be entrepreneurial sharpening tool. A tool used to sharpen entrepreneurs. That's how you coined it. I marketed it that way.
Well, a forge is a workplace for a blacksmith, right? So he would come in with his metal and he would put it in fire, and then he would bend it and shape it and mold it. And so that's what we envision Forge to be. So very similar, where entrepreneurs come in, they're unshaped, if you will, and we put them through a process that shapes and bends them into successful businesses in all the facets that both Chad and Akeem talk about. Where their businesses are working for them, and they're really walking in the midst of their purpose. Why are you here? Why did you start this business? What is the ultimate vision and purpose for it? Really walking in the strength and the light of that purpose, and seeing that come to reality. And what I love about the Forge concept is that what we do is we take entrepreneurs out of isolation, because the entrepreneurial journey is a very lonely one. If you do it in isolation, those down days when you don't make the mark, or there's not enough money in the bank, to pay the bills, or you're stuck on an idea and you're not quite sure how to resolve it, or you think this is a direction you want to go, but there's nobody to validate it for you, and all of those kinds of things that are intangibles in a space. And are intangibles that really propel an entrepreneur forward, they will find them in the Forge environment. Together with training And a lot of the training is geared to what Kurt Richardson calls the block and tackle of business. You know, we go and we learn the theory, but there's nothing
like doing it.
There's nothing like doing it, and nothing like the practical stuff. Pricing the goods, selling them, marketing them, branding them, all the day-to-day decision making that you need to make. That if you don't do them consistently well, the business stands a chance of failing. So all of that will be in that environment, and the training and coaching and problem solving, not really only in terms of the Ford staff, helping entrepreneurs to solve problems, but they're solving problems among themselves. That's one of the things that was really great when we had them in training. As Chad said, just the camaraderie, the friendships. They can call each other, bounce things off of each other, share with each other. And I'm in that environment, and just the other day they're sharing with me, giving me critique on some marketing, one of the entrepreneurs, and then sharing with me, how I should do it. Because marketing is not a skill set for me. So that's a good example of how we really just share of each other. I may bring something in an environment, but in that environment I have just as much to learn from them, because each of them have a skill, they have a gift that they're really letting out into the space so that everybody can grow.
Yeah. You realize that's an attack on a crab in a barrel mentality.
Absolutely. I want to attack it. I want to kill it. I've said it. I want to kill
it. I don't know how many of us realize how important that is, what you just said, because we have the mentality in business here. Well, I find, and I could be wrong, that we are such competitors that any little secret I know, I should keep it to myself and use it as an advantage to be more successful than you.
Yeah, and the person who you're sharing with might be your partner to get you there sooner, quicker, faster.
Yeah.
And if you never share it, you never get that partnership, because your resources is more than about money. It's about relationships. It's about partnering that helps you get there. I always, I heard this preacher preach, and I always looked it up, and I always said, the Bible says, who are they that fly? It's not a single person that flies. It is a they that fly.
Right.
And so we got to fly together. That's the only way we're going to fly. And we're going to fly off this island in terms of, our export ability. The Premier talks about that all the time. But, to lift up and really do that successfully, we can't do it by ourselves. We need help. Yeah. And we need each other's help to do that. Collaboration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, walk me through the next 2 minutes. So Forge is an organization where you can sign up for training in business entrepreneurship.
Yeah, Forge is an organization. It has two major components. It's a co-working space, so people can actually sign up and work in that environment. We have something called desks, where people have like a permanent desk. We have seats, which is you come and when there's an available seat, you sit and do your work.
So this is a place somewhere?
As a place. It's going to be at the Pear Park in building number 1 upstairs. And so that's going to be a physical location. And we hope to fully open it, I would say for sure by fall, maybe earlier. Where you can physically come and work, and there'll be a desk, there'll be a receptionist, there'll be conference room facility, there'll be internet and Wi-Fi, there'll be coffee, tea. You can bring your clients and customers, have meetings. There'll be entrepreneurs working. You guys can collaborate together. There'll be training and mentoring, all of those things within that space. And then we'll have a facility where we'll actually do training, really geared towards the block and tackle of business, and really helping people and entrepreneurs get prepared to access funding for their business.
Okay. So if I want to start up, if I'm starting up a business but I don't have a space,
yes,
I could come. I could sign up.
Yes.
What do? I sign up with.
You sign up with us,
is there a cost?
There is a cost. We're finalizing the cost, but we have 3 levels of memberships. One is called an access member, so you don't really have a desk or a seat. but you really come to the facility and take part in all of the networking events, or the training and stuff that goes on in that space. We have a chair, a seat, which we call, and so what that does is that you're not assigned a particular desk. Whenever you come and there's an open seat, you come and you sit down, open your laptop and do your thing. That would be about $249 a month. And then we have a desk where you have a permanent desk, and that will be about $300 a month. For those young,
So I could have a meeting in town.
you can have a meeting, you can have coffee, you can have tea, you can have soda juice for your thing. Sign a contract, bring a client, collaborate, work on your business, and be involved in the training. One of the things that work really great in that space is that there's a moment and usually a schedule where a business get up, talk about a problem that they have, and all the entrepreneurs in the space basically listen to your problem and share how you can fix it. It may be marketing, it may be branding, it may be something in IT. You just tell what your problem is and they feedback for you. How valuable is that?
So you got a bunch of brains in the room.
A whole bunch of brains. And today is my turn for my problem. Tomorrow is Chad's turn for his problem. The next day is Akil's turn.
When we got a problem, you shout it out.
Shout it out in the room, and the room shouts back to you.
The brain does pick it up.
Absolutely.
That's
fantastic.
Really interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic concept. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Now we got a few minutes remaining. And so persons wanting to get in touch with you concerning
same means.
Same, just
upstairs of CCT. Come upstairs of CCT.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. Now, you know, I got a pet peeve. I got to axe the grain with the local businesses, and I like. I want to get it incorporated. This view incorporated into the training. You know, I got my own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see. I see local businesses as having a philosophy, a business philosophy, that you're going to business to make a profit, right? And I think that's understood. That's understood that anything you do, if you're working to make a profit. I mean, if you got a job, you want to be able to pay your bills and have something to put in the bank, which will be the profit.
Absolutely.
So anything you would do, you want to be successful at it, you want to have a profit. But then, what is your responsibility to the greater community? And I don't see, I don't know if we understand as a business community what our stewardship is for the whole country. As a group that provides food, clothing, and shelter for the population that needs, a population that need to work and produce the goods and services that you're going to sell as a business, and also have to buy the things that they produce from you. It's a symbiotic relationship. And then the money that comes from the productivity in that business then have to go into the community to provide education, health care, roads, infrastructure, electricity, all the things that we have in common. So to me, there's a certain level of stewardship that businesses have to have. And every time you hear the government say, well, we need to have additional tax for health, or we need to have a tax for roads, it's like the business community go up in arms. And I'm thinking that it should be the business community that's saying to the government, well, we need to improve our infrastructure to do business. We need to improve our education to get more persons, to more human resources to produce. And so we need to set aside some extra money to get this thing done because it benefits the whole community. Our children are getting involved in crime, so we need to create some programs to make sure that doesn't happen, because that's going to impact us as business and the environment. And I don't hear that kind of philosophy. And so, as part of your and the businesses need to also set aside some money to fund campaigns so that the persons that we elect have a similar philosophy as stewardship for the overall community, because you have the power to do that, and you're not using that power. You're not using the power. The business community is not using the power that it has to improve the overall territory and take responsibility for its stewardship. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I think that business and government, there's a partnership. There are roles that we both have to play if we want to overall be successful. And I think what businesses look to government to do is to create the environment that businesses such as these young men here can succeed and grow and prosper. Because the more they grow and prosper, the more they are able and have the capacity to give, to do a lot of the things that you just talked about.
Well, I'm looking for more than that. I'm looking for business to tell government what the environment needs to be.
Yes, well, I think that's critically important.
Because we seem to think that once we elect somebody, the all the knowledge come down in the shape of a dove and a light on their shoulders.
Well, I'm shoulder deep in the entrepreneur space. I head deep because I still want to breathe, right?
Yeah.
But in the entrepreneur space, I think that there are things that the government can do via trade policy that would facilitate entrepreneurship. Just the whole import export. We can spend all night on that. But if you come back out to what you're saying, I think also businesses do have a responsibility, in terms of a social responsibility, to give back into the community, to facilitate and help in any way that we can, to make our society better.
But shouldn't it be a responsibility, though? Just a giving back to the community.
Yeah.
It's about maintaining the community.
Yeah.
I want to make a distinction here between the good corporate citizenship giving back to the community as a public relations process.
Yes.
And make it into a duty responsibility for the community to make sure that the community, that the environment in which you do business needs to be a certain way in order for business to succeed, employees to succeed, children to succeed, the elderly to succeed, and have a good quality of life. That the business needs to recognize their stewardship in that regard, and to inform the quote unquote government, which I like to say, those persons that the community have hired to manage their affairs in common.
Well, I agree with that. I think, look, I'm here in the entrepreneurial space. I'm spending time with these young entrepreneurs, not out of a sense of duty, but out of a sense of, it comes from within, and I'm giving it out. I think that if we can get businesses and people to get to that space where it's a natural for them to give, and to give of themselves, I think we'll get there in terms of what you want, and it not be a responsibility. It just comes naturally. One of the very thing, and I want to give these young men a chance to jump in. One of the things that I love about Kurt Richardson just did a vision statement for his business, and it's called "We Grow to Give." How powerful is that?
Yes.
We grow to give.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
They're growing. And a main reason for them growing is to give, and so that's really powerful. And if people can get to that, grow and prosper to give, because at the end of the day, there's only so much food you can eat. There's only so much clothes you can wear. There's only so much how big the house could be. There's only so much cars you could drive. After a while, what's the meaning of life? Right?
Seriously.
Is to make community and society better. So I'll pause there and give them a chance to respond.
Let me hear what. Let's give Akeem a chance to go first.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. It should be like a responsibility of businesses, both big and small, to give back to the community, not just for public relations, but as just to ensure that the community that you live in and everything is well maintained, and to also be able to approach government and tell them, well, this is what we need, right? And I must say, I must commend the Department of Trade and the junior minister. I know he's doing a lot with trying to get certain things done there, like Mead mentioned with the export, import, and all those different things. So I must commend him. And yes, we just need to do it more often, and just realize as smaller businesses we might not be able to do as much, because we still have to make sure that we don't give out too much, and then it's like
you can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
You know, that's why what the slogan is so powerful. The growth to give. You know.
Yes.
And part of that growth is the growth that you're going to get.
Then you
in order to give is coming from the community.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You see that? So the relationship is symbiotic.
Absolutely.
You know, one hand, one hand can't clap.
One hand can't clap.
It's a cycle.
Yeah. So your turn, Chad, before we close.
I fully on board with
but, but I hear your speech already. Well, go ahead. you got it down, Pat.
No, I fully on board with what you're saying. I grasp that concept, whether you call it a force for good, whether you call it paying it forward, whether you call it social responsibility or corporate citizenship. It doesn't matter what you call it, it's just a good deed. That's what you need to do, right? A neighborly deed. And it is something that it needs to be culturally instilled.
Yes.
In part of the training that Mead is doing, he's helping instill that culture, and it takes time to do. And at the same point, Mead said something where you need to get to a space, get people to a space where they can do this naturally. And you have to hit comfortability. You have to, that's not a word, you have to be comfortable at some point, right, to be able to give. But at the same point, people are struggling along the way, hungry, and still able to break a piece of bread and give it to somebody, right? So you don't just have to get to being comfortable to do this. When you're comfortable, you can do it in excess. But along the way, you still need to be able to find a way to give. Whether that's cleaning up the beach, whether that's going out in the palm bush and collecting bags of garbage so it doesn't go out into the ocean, whether that's helping younger people find their space and their way, whether that's going to speak at events at the prison or in front of school children
buying a couple
to
of
get
kids
people
back
back
before they go to school.
track.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
As simple as that.
Absolutely.
Something I think is really in the Caribbean culture, there's a very, very clear way of giving back that is not in the first wall, is giving people a ride. When you leave East End, give people a ride to town, give people a ride to school. Just focus on that little good deed. If you could do that once more, every day, every week,
absolutely.
That's the essence and the spirit of what you're trying to capture there.
That's a perfect example.
Yes,
absolutely.
Giving people a right. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, but at Ching, I want to get to the point where I'm helping get software development going a little bit more in the community. It's something hard to find for me, and it's a great career path for young people coming up in these modern times where software development is starting to take over the world. And that's something I think we need to get back on the community because we're gifted in that space.
Get more kids involved.
We're gifted in that space. We have a little bit of opportunity and resources that we may be able to put towards that and helping do that.
Yeah. And both businesses have had that opportunity. The concrete, the Greencrete business is,
Yes, I'm actually steady trying to get persons more into recycling as well. And I'm looking to start a program on Virgin Order with the schools where they'll be like collecting the glass, because we all know that recycling was not something that we did here in the BVI, and it's still fairly new.
You don't know about the recycling in the BVI. I excuse you. I excuse you on that.
So I think that if we start with the students, they'll take it home, and then the parents will start to grasp it. If the children are like, "Mommy, don't throw away this glass. Mommy, don't throw away that bottle. You could recycle it, right?" So I think it get more into the households like that, and then it can go from there.
Yeah. Too bad we got to go. But if you don't know about Miss Helen, your aunt,
yes.
with the kerosene,
yes.
with the ag oil pack, to bake bread,
yes.
and make tin cup.
And make tin cups.
Yeah, we
that was before his time.
That was recycling. We recycled everything. Sugar bag clothes and flour bag clothes. And
getting into culture.
Yeah. But we gotta go. So. Coming up, so give us the last
coming up on May 6th, BVI Biz Pitch Biz Expo at UP Cineplex. We're inviting the public to come out at 11. come out and cheer on the entrepreneurs, come out and get great information about business, and about taking your business to the next level. Those of you who are not yet signed up, come on, if you are in a place of giftedness and you're doing something great, stop keeping it to yourself, share it with the community, and see where it takes you, and where you take the community to do all the things that you just talked about. There's some great ideas out there, and we are providing a platform to really bring it to the public.
Thank you, my brother. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Always good to see you, brothers. All the success in the world.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for watching, of course. I want to remind you that by BVI Trade Show is coming up this weekend, Saturday the 29th and Sunday the 30th at the Multipurpose Sports Complex. Come out and learn about all the businesses that we have in the territory, and learn about the new and most advanced products that's available here in the country, because we don't think a lot of things exist here that exist. So you need to come out to the By BVI Trade Show this weekend to find out all the things you don't know about what's going on in business and products here in the territory. The Spotlight, of course, is seen every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on JTV Channel 55, and rebroadcast Sundays at 2:30. Watch Spotlight on demand on jtvlive.net, on facebook.com/SpotlightBVI. Please like the Facebook page. We've been doing some good things there on Spotlight. You can go on there. All of the shows that you've missed, you can catch up on facebook.com/Spotlight. When you view the show, like the page, please suggest guests or topics that you want to hear on Spotlight. I'm Ed Jurenko, reminding you that when the Spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by CCT BVI, Life Unlimited, and the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official Bank of Paradise.